One ring.
That's a telephone. I'll answer it.
No, I must count them.
Yeah,
Two rings.
I have to answer the phone there.
No, I am counting the rings. Three rings.
Hauntcast Bone Phone.
Hit me up on his CB. We got Gregory Wallace of Wallace Manor. 10-4, good buddy.
10-4. Back in the day, I was the Continental Cowboy.
Hey, Greg, let's dive right in. Hey, the question that's on the tip of everyone's tongues. How'd you come up with the haunt name? I mean, it's genius. Absolutely genius. I figured there had to be a backstory behind it or something. You know?
Yeah, well, I wanted, I live in a cul-de-sac, so I really wanted terror on the cul-de-sac, but I couldn't take that because, Tara had it. Oh. So, actually, the girl, my friend that takes all my photos, she just threw it at me in like a photo she edited and added that to the photo, that name, and I just went with it because I couldn't come up with anything, so it was easier to just go with what she had come up with.
Now, you do have kind of... You do have a good backstory, I think, wrapped into it, and I think Revenant might have made a mention of this, and when you were featured in Hauntcast 10th anniversary episode, because you're a big deal. Don't let anybody tell you different. But tell me about your backstory.
So I discovered that back in 1863, a band of Confederate raiders kind of ran through my neighborhood in a way, and then I found out, I bought a book of local ghost stories, and I found out there was a ghost story associated with it, and I thought, well, I just have to run with that, you know what I mean? It was John Hunt Morgan's raiders came through my area back in 1863, and I've always dug the Civil War anyway.
Wait a minute. So is Morgan from the Union, or was he from the Confederates?
He was a Confederate.
So he came up there and raped and pillaged and ran amok.
Yeah. Yes, he did. He's from Kentucky, which was a border state, but he's fought for the Confederacy. So, yeah.
Now, how long have you been in the game?
We bought our house in 2006, and that first year we bought our house, I had a Halloween party, and that's kind of how it started.
So were you doing all the typical shit? Were you doing all the haunt forum and Halloween forum? You were doing all that stuff back in the day. Do you still go on there anymore?
Once in a while, not so much anymore.
Yeah. I miss those days. I really do. I do too. I seriously, you don't find me too much on Facebook anymore. I hate Facebook now. I really do. I missed it when everything had to be so specific to the topic, everything, you were there for haunting and you had to talk about haunt shit, and that's it.
Yeah, we were having a Halloween party, and my wife was like, hey, what kind of recipes could you think we could come up with? Are there any games? That kind of shit. So, I went online and I found, of course, the what is it? The list. What was the list?
The monster list?
Yes, the monster list. That was first.
Is that still around? I haven't looked for that.
It is. It's still there.
Holy shit. And there's tons of stuff on there that can get you killed.
Yes. Yeah.
Or maim your guess.
Yeah. And then I moved on to Halloween forum, haunt forum, so on and so forth. Yeah. But, it's not the same anymore. Like
I say, you had that. Then I remember you had the Garage of Evil, and you had the Haunt Space. Do you remember Haunt Space?
I do, but I wasn't
what was the other one? The Halloween L.
Yeah, I was a little late into that too. Yeah. So
there was that email list, which I wouldn't have done that. I don't think. It doesn't appeal to me. But they started a forum, which I don't think ever took off because people were on that list, just stayed on the list. I dug into all of these when I started Hauntcast because I needed to promote on every one of them. I remember being on Haunt Space was kind of like MySpace. It had you could customize your page and do all that shit. So there was just a lot of bad graphics and horrible design all over the place, from people. And it was kind of a ghost town by the time I kind of was promoting there. I only jumped on, promoted the show, and left. That's kind of all I did.
Yeah. Well, I think that's where I found you, was on like Halloween Forum or something.
Probably.
I think I've been listening since like episode 3, so like 2007 maybe, right after we had our party.
Back in the good old days. I'm starting to think of like just 10 years ago was the good old days. It's crazy.
Hey, someday these will be the good old days.
Maybe. Actually, I'm having the time of my life in general. I mean, I think the world's going absolutely insane, but I'm in the best situation I've ever been in my life. So, I'm living the dream. I'm single. My kids are out of the house.
Empty nester.
Oh, man. Life is good.
We are too.
Life is good. Except for the paying tuition, Except for paying my kids' college, life is fucking good.
We're done with that too.
Oh, oh man, good for you. I'm trying to blast through it as fast as possible. Once they graduate, I'm either selling my business or I'm going to find someone to manage the shop here. I'm going to start one else, and I'm moving down south somewhere. I haven't figured out where, but I'm going somewhere else. But we'll get to that later. Anyway, why are you talking about me? Jesus Christ, I do this
it's your
all
show.
The time. No, no, it's your show tonight, Greg. Take it away. The mic is yours.
So tell me about. Oh, never mind.
No. Anyway, let's talk about some of your props. You got some good stuff, man. You were like in a flurry of friggin' activity. You were almost like me this year. No, you were killing it this year. You were cranking out some quality props. And this is what I see these people, or I used to see them a lot when they would come in and they would be like new to the whole haunt scene, and they're trying to put together a yard haunt, and they're trying to do everything in 1 year. It's like, dude, if you just do 2, maybe 3 signature pieces each year, within a couple of years, you're going to have an amazing thing. Instead of trying to do 20 half-assed props that are not done well,
right?
Put the time into a few of them, and it makes the difference. And man, you crushed it this year. Good job.
I try to do one major thing and maybe improve on a couple old things. You know what I mean? I'm trying to replace my old store-bought stones with,
I saw that you
custom-made ones.
You kind of beefed them up and added some backing, and made them out like 2 to 3 inches thick.
Yeah, the ones I like. Yeah.
Yeah, you carved out a few of your own. Did you do a couple of new stones this year, or did you just kind of patch up some of the old ones?
I think I did one new one.
Yeah.
I try to do a new one every year.
Yeah.
One big thing and one like nice new stone. You know what I mean?
That's what did I add? Did I do a new stone this year? I might not have added a new stone this year. I did a lot of like reworking things this year on my side. But once again, I'm doing it again. I'm getting it off onto me. It's not about me. I'm like, there's a bunny. Is that a bunny? I'm like bunny trailing off all over the place. So let's get into the props specifically. I'm gonna just talk about the build on a few of the your signature, your signed pieces that are collector's items already. I guess let's just dive right into Richard's tomb sarcophagus.
Yeah. So that was what was that? 2017 now.
Oh, has that been around for a full year? I thought you reworked it or something. Did you?
Nope, didn't do anything to it. Nope.
Oh, okay.
I won the Canadian Hunters Award for Best Static Prop for that prop, though. So I'm a major award winner. That was cool,
It's a major award. He won. All right. Just explain the build. to everybody. What is it? Did you have a store-bought skeleton on top?
I bought a store-bought skeleton. I replaced the skull on it because I hate the skulls that come with the store-bought skeletons. I don't think they look right with the skeleton. So I used one of the Nightmare Maker's foam skulls. I don't know if I molded it or not. I have a mold now. I don't know if I did that one with the mold or not. I might have just bought the skull. Used monster mud, over top of it. First time I ever used monster mud on that prop. I took some more of the Nightmare Maker skulls and put them around the sides. Had some 45-degree PVC pipe coming out their mouth so the fog would blow out their mouths. Had the fog machine inside the tomb hooked up to those pipes.
Now, are those skulls a soft foam or a hard foam?
They're a hard foam.
How much do they go for a piece?
I don't know. Maybe $10-$12 for.
That's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Good deal. That's a wicked bargain, as they say around here. All right.
It is. And actually, I had some old skulls, like flat back skulls from Terror Syndicate, that I put on the head and the foot of it, which didn't have
a blast from the past.
I know, right? But I had them.
Dude,
I'm like,
is that site still around too, or?
I think it is, but I don't know if he's all that active anymore.
Hickman, right? Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, Steve Hickman.
Yeah. Good guy.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll get some PVC coming out. Did you just have one fogger in there, or did you have to hook up a couple? Just
one fogger going through some like corrugated, I don't know what it is, the like sump pump pipe kind of stuff, black pipe, going to the 45-degree PVC elbows coming out the mouths of the skulls. Put it on a timer and go.
I built my tomb a number of years ago. Very simple one, not as elaborate anywhere as elaborate as yours. Did you do like just kind of 2x3 frame on that, or what did you use for the framing?
Yeah, it's 1x2, I believe. Just a big 1x2 rectangular box, Cover it with foam.
And it's heavy enough that doesn't move around?
Nah. Yeah. No, it's heavy enough. Put it all in 1 inch foam originally, and then put another layer of 1 inch foam over top of that with like squares cut out around the skulls, and then routed out with my Dremel Trio, so it gave it some thickness. And the lid of it's like 2 inch foam with another piece of 1 inch foam on top of that, and then the skeleton on top of that with the monster mud and everything. So it doesn't go anywhere.
Now, did you build Cookie, your Calden creep type dude, this year?
No. That was probably 3 or 4 years ago now. That was the big build of that year.
And just so same construction as the Calden creep, the same type of stir. Yep. That little motor. What kind of motor do you use for those?
For the stirring part?
Yeah.
Well, there's a wiper motor inside the cauldron.
That's just the wiper motor.
Yeah.
Do you have to slow it down, or do you? Yeah.
I use it on. I might use it on the 5-volt instead of the 12. It's a 12-volt wiper motor. Put 5 volts to it. It's automatically half the speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can slow it down that way.
One way to go.
It works. You don't lose any torque.
Go buy something to like with the potentiometer and slow it down, but yeah.
Yeah. I use all my wiper.
I love the low tech.
5-volt. Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Does he also have the one glowing eye, like the cannon fire
he does.
character? Is that just a ping pong ball with an LED in it, or is that something that you picked up somewhere?
It's actually I got it from Monster Guts. They're the roll-on deodorant balls.
Oh, that's it?
Yep.
That's them.
Drill a hole in it, stick an LED in it, and go.
I like the look. I like the one eye that's glowing. I'm like, you know what I have to do? I'm going to steal that from you this year. If I do anything, any type of skull, or if I might add one to like the little groundbreaker skeleton now that I have. I might add the glowing LED eye just to spice him up this year.
And I've thought about how I haven't been doing it with like one eye hanging out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of a
one
cool
eye
idea.
in, one eye hanging out.
If you could, you just put something on there like some maybe yarn and latex red, and like make it look like it dripping out of his socket. That'd be kind of cool. There's a number of different pieces to your Civil War cannon. I mean, this was your huge build of the year. So
last
2018. Year. So I guess, just take us step through step on the build of that, because I know Rev covered it last segment. But pretend you didn't hear it, guys. No, there's probably a lot he couldn't get to, so go for it.
And Rev killed it, by the way. You guys, it was awesome the way he did it. So, I've seen, lots of people built pirate cannons, and things like that. I've seen on Halloween forum, Haunt forum, and I kind of took those builds and kind of added. I needed someone to fire it. You know what I mean? Everyone else just has the cannon just firing, and mine needed someone to fire it, so I did that to make it kind of my own. But basically, it's a 10-inch quickcrete, concrete tube for building footers, I guess, for decks and things like that. I don't really do that, but I guess that's what they're for. And I cut out a triangle wedge out of the tube and kind of tapered it. Wrapped some Gorilla tape around it. Covered it in Monster Mud. I added some foam to flare the ends. A pot top, or the top to a pot to for the breech, the end of the cannon. Made some trunnions, which is the part that sticks out from the sides of the cannon, so it fits into the carriage. Made those out of.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that was just a couple sports water bottles I cut to shape and paper mache them on there. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. You had to coat it with something, obviously, to protect it. So what did you coat it with?
Actually, I didn't. I just painted it. And yeah, I did. But now I have to coat it with something.
Now you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, because last was rainy last fall and last Halloween, and now I've realized when I was bringing it in that this is kind of warping and things like that. So
does that when
it does.
Water hits paper.
Well, I had Monster Mud on it and, exterior household paint, but apparently that wasn't enough. And I'm sure the fog inside the tube, didn't really help with that. It probably kind of softened up from the inside out, really. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have to hit it with use my new critter gun, right, that I got for Christmas. And
that was actually in my show prep. You got to be shitting me.
And hit it with some, polyurethane or something.
You heard me talking about that critter gun just too many times. You're like, I got to get my hand on.
Well, it wasn't just you. I mean, evil Ted, right? And everywhere.
Oh,
critter gun.
I'm sure. I know I'm not the only person who watches Evil Ted, so it's not like I discovered it or anything. I got it from him. And then I talked to him, and he's like, you can also get these other things that are cheaper. And I'm like, well, I love my critter gun, and I'm going to run that thing into the ground.
Right. Yeah, we have to get a bunch of mason jars. And
I know. I did. I bought, went down to the hardware store, and I bought a dozen or so of them, or a couple of dozen of them. They're great.
Yeah.
I have one you can use for water to clean it out when you're done. And the other, a number of different paint colors. And it's great because you can just, you see the color. If you're looking for, I got to touch up the mantis. Oh, the green's right there. Boom, you're done.
Right.
It's really simple and easy.
Yeah, I got one of those, the Wagner, power sprayer things. Mm-hmm. That thing's it's just a pain in the ass. You got to take it apart every time you use it. And there's 20 little tiny gaskets, and then there's this little pin, and it's just a mess.
Those things are an absolute clusterfuck. I painted houses for a summer, and we had bought one, and the guy had to spend about a half hour doing cleanup at the end of the day, so that we could use it again the next day.
Right.
Clogged with paint and crap.
Yep.
So you then the wheels.
So the wheels, right? We're from At Home, store home decorative store, I guess is what you call it. They're actually like wooden, like I guess people hang them on their walls or whatever. But like about the biggest ones they had, they were like $30-$40. You know what I mean? I looked at some like real wagon wheels online, but people want like crazy money, like hundreds and hundreds of dollars because they're like antiques or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I had to scale everything to the size of the wheels I could find.
Yeah. And you're not hooking a buggy up to the damn things,
That's
so
right.
it's, I'm sure
I don't even use the wheels.
The ones you put out in the garden will do, right?
That's right. I don't even like wheel it out there. I carry it out there and set it down.
Place it.
Yeah. So the carriage is built out of like 2-inch foam, all glued together. Got I think it's 1.5-inch PVC going through the carriage and then into the cannon, and hooked up to a fog machine. And there's a little like the highest speed CPU fan I could find. I hooked inside the cannon to a piece of PVC. So the idea was that the back of the cannon would like kind of fill up with fog, and then the fan would go and it would blow out. You know what I mean? Real quick like.
Oh, is that how it's done? How does that mechanism work? That's it.
That was the plan, and it works almost like that. Yeah.
Almost. You have a little controller hooked up to it, so it does trigger the sound effect, and
right.
The fan goes off and blows some of the fog out.
Yep. Yeah, I got the old $20 Arduino prop controller. I got one relay control on the fan, one relay control on the LED lights that I put into the muzzle of the cannon to create a cannon muzzle flash. One controls the skeleton, which turns at its waist to pull the cord that fires the cannon, and then one controls sound. I guess that's how it works.
So for the twisting mechanism for him at the hips,
yep.
You have the torso mounted to a round piece of plywood or something,
No, I bought it's from Spider Hill Prop Works. I can't remember what he calls it, but it's the one that he has one that like, turns at the torso and like holds a lantern or something on his website he sells, and that's the one I used. I just hooked it up to a picovolt.
Yeah.
So I can control when it stops and when it starts and stops, so it always kind of ends in the same position. You know what I mean? So it always is at the ready to fire position every time.
Yeah. I just picked up 3 of those picovolts this year for my haunt because I didn't want to run pneumatics out there, and so I got into the linear actuators. So the picovolts work perfect with the linear actuator. I was trying to get them to work right with the what is it? The monster? Not the monster shield. The Octopill.
Yeah.
The Octopill that runs with the Arduino Nano.
That's what I was kind of. That was what I was using, an Octopill.
Yeah,
but I only use 4. I only use 4 relays though instead of the 8.
Yeah, it's a great little controller, but it was. I was having problems with the servo. With the linear actuator. I don't know why. I thought I had it wired up properly. I had used one last year for a coffin door that just kind of opened up a little bit and closed. Just like the lid.
Right.
Like the Haunted Mansion type style.
Right.
And it worked great. And for some reason, I tried to program it the same way. I couldn't figure it out. I got frustrated. I'm like, fuck this. Jumped on Fright Props and brought a couple of them. And I was like, they're so easy. They're so stupidly easy to use, the Picovolt, that is. So
right.
The Picovolt worked great. Had no problems. Everything worked out.
Yeah, the Picovolt. I bought the Picovolt originally because the Richard's Tomb was originally supposed to work like the Haunted Mansion thing, where the top kind of raised and lowered, but it never got that far. So
that prop just seemed to go its own way, right?
It did.
As they do.
Yes, that's right. Sometimes they tell you what they want to be.
Yeah. Sometimes they do. More often.
I was working on that damn thing.
Not.
Halloween, the day of Halloween, I was working on that thing before I put it out, trying to get that thing to work, and it wasn't happening.
And so the muzzle, or whatever that part of whatever you call that as part of the cannon, that's all. It was just coated with monster mud, and you dry brushed it with some white to give it that kind of bumpy cast iron metal kind of look.
Yeah, well, I stippled the monster mud on, with the brush to give it a stippled, a cast iron, old pitted cast iron look. And then I hit it with the modern masters like bronze paint, and then they have a patina spray, spray on it, so it gives it the look of aged bronze.
Yeah, well,
so that's what that was.
You had some excellent props out there this year. You're really leveling up Wallace Manor, my friend. I will not say next level anymore. It's leveling up. Everyone can start using that right now. Leveling up. So you are a member of the Ohio's Haunters Association?
Yes, I am. I'm a proud member of the Ohio Haunters Association.
What do you guys do? Do you actually get together a couple of times a year, make and takes all that business, or is it more organized or less than that?
Well, it's a new thing that we do get together once a month. I have yet to go to one yet. They have usually have a monthly thing. I haven't gone to one yet because I'm way down here in southern Ohio, and they're usually up in central and northern. But they do have monthly get-togethers. They're doing the Ohio Halloween and Haunters Convention this year up at the penitentiary where Shawshank was filmed. I can't remember what it's called right now, but that's where that's at. So I'll be going to that in May, doing a ghost hunt and all that fun kind of stuff.
Are they trying to take over the Midwest in Ohio? Is that kind of their intention of what they're trying to do, or not quite?
I don't know that they're taking over is the right term.
No, that's not correct. Yeah, they're not holding a coup or whatever, storming the gates.
But I think
are they trying to fill a void for people who don't want to go to Chicago?
Right, that's what I think. I think that they felt like there was a void since Midwest was moving Chicago, and might as well fill that void. And as long as and I know they don't want to interfere with Midwest, so that's why it's in May, and Midwest is in June, I guess. So it's not like the same time, so everyone can go to everything and do everything they want. They're not trying to take it over.
We're all friends here. We can all get along. There's enough room for everybody. Relax, people. Yeah. All right, Greg. Well, look, you're rocking it. What are you working? You have anything in mind? What's going to be your signature piece coming up in 2019? I'm putting you on the spot. I'm calling you out right now.
I know, and if I say it, I have to build it, right?
I guess so.
Because then it's out there and everyone knows. So
I mean, I'm not going to come to Ohio and flog you if you don't. I might ridicule you on Hauntcast, but that's about it.
I want to build a old horse-drawn hearse this year. That's the goal.
Yeah, it's an ambitious goal. Those things take a lot of work from what I've seen from other builds. So, we're holding you to it.
And damn it, Home Depot stopped selling their damn skeleton horse now. It's discontinued.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
No.
Sons of a bitches. Now the price, you'll find them used online for big money.
Yeah.
This is a limited edition horse skeleton. All right, man. Well, look, thank you Thank you so much for your long-term support, for being around for the last 7-8 years, hanging with the Scream team. We appreciate it. Thank you for your cash, helping keep us afloat, keeping the Hauntcast ship sailing along. It's always appreciated. You're a great guy. It was good hanging out with you at Midwest that time 5 years ago. Unfortunately, we didn't have a ton of time. I was also dragging ass because that was the day after I vomited in the restaurant back room. So it was a tough weekend.
Yeah, I was looking at the picture of you in your Warriors costume or whatever. That's what the baseball player, whatever it is.
I saw that picture online and I went like, "Holy, am I that fat now? Holy, I've taken off some weight." That was kind of a wake up call. I was like, holy shit, man, I was hot. And
anyway, JT was there too.
Yeah, so I guess standing next to him, I didn't look so bad. All right. Hey, man, thanks so much. Keep rocking it.
All right.
Killing it out there in Ohio.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, man. Take care.
Right. See ya.
I'm going now. Heaven help you.
Please like and follow the podcast. Stalk us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Links in the description. And help us by sharing Hauntcast with all your haunted Halloween brethren. Until next time, stay scary.